Ryan Blaney got his lap
Whoa,
wrong.
Blaney's out of gas. Something's wrong.
White flag, 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank, and we've got a new leader.
I think
he's out of gas.
I think he is too. An official race too. White flag.
Well, where on earth do I even start with this race? Holy Murphy. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another post-race review, Gateway Edition. I'm a little heartbroken right now, so like if I seemed a little dimmed out, just like bear with me. For those of you who watched the race, I had money on Ryan Blaney, and I also had him for double points on my Grid Rival Fantasy League with my friends this week. Oh my god. Not fun. But anyway, let's get into the race. Let's start off with stage 1. Michael McDowell got the pole yesterday in qualifying. Looked really good all race. Well, for the first stage at least. But about 30 laps into the race, well, I should also mention, Cody Ware spun twice in 20 laps. It's Cody Ware. But anyways, brain, think. Again, yeah. As the run went on, this race was a strategy race. Like, as soon as there was a caution, there'd be some guys pitting, some guys who don't. It was just a big bad mishmash of who got at the front because they didn't pit, who got at the front because they did pit. That was mainly what this race was. But you could tell 30 laps into this race that Christopher Bell had the car to beat. There was, if you got to second, it's extremely unlikely that you were going to get past Christopher Bell for the race win today. But, man, yeah, so Christopher Bell got around Michael McDowell with about 5 laps to go in stage 1. Bell wins the stage. He dominates stage 2 other than when Kyle Busch, led a few laps in stage 2 because he was on a varying strategy. So Kyle Busch led for a bit in stage 2. There were some guys that pitted at the end, well, midway through stage 1 that were on that strategy. I think there was about 6 cars that didn't pit at the start of stage 2. So Christopher Bell was caught up behind them. He got past all of them in about 15 laps, and he was back to the lead. I'm just noticing this on my chin, by the way. Don't mind that. I was doing some boxing sparring today, well, this morning, and that's probably a Velcro scrape, so don't mind that. But anyway, where was I? Yeah, so Christopher Bell got out there, dominated stage 2. You could see the strategy starting to vary, but at the end of stage 2, I'm a Kyle Busch fan too, so like, well, there we go. That guy back there, he's my idol. He just sold his cup team 5 days ago. Well, just said that they were shutting down. Well, his whole entire team, so. Been a rough week for me in NASCAR. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough week. But, oh my god. So yeah, I've been a Kyle Busch fan ever since Tony Stewart retired, for those of you who don't know. Kyle was always crap. Knocked over my Jeff Gordon series Pepsi bottle. If you watch the Jeff Gordon series, this will be coming in and around Kentucky, so be prepared. But anyway, yeah, so, oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought. I gotta stop getting distracted. But yeah, at the end of stage 2, Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson are side by side running for 7th. And then, for some reason, Kyle got pissed at Larson, and then Larson got loose underneath Kyle Busch. They go spinning, they go into the outside wall. Kyle Busch is done for the day. Larson's able to continue because he only scraped the rear of the car. And, when is this season going to get good for Kyle Busch? Is this karma for watching or picking drivers that win championships? Like, is this what it is? Because I cheered for Matt DiBenedetto too from like 2017 to 2021 as well. I mean, I still do cheer for Matty D. It's just I don't get to watch them as much because I don't have the time to watch Trucks and Xfinity all the time. But yeah, man. Kyle Busch spins off of Kyle Larson. And that's his day done. Oh, crap. I almost forgot. In stage 2, Josh Berry wrecked. Josh Berry had a really good run going, and he had a really good car, too. He was up in the top 5 with one of the 3 Overstock cars. Overstock is single-handedly keeping Stewart Haas Racing afloat. But Josh Berry went into the outside wall. Big impact. I mean, the brake rotor failures were not nearly as heavy as what they were last year and the year before at Gateway, but man, that's good to see, though. That is very good to see. But stage 3, the final stage. Oh boy, did this ever get interesting. Did it ever get interesting? Because, let's see. Well, at the start of the stage, you had some of the guys didn't pit at the start of stage 3. They ended up having the track position. Some of those guys were Austin Cindric and Ryan Blaney. Yeah. So they pitted, well, Blaney pit first. Blaney pitted with 67 to go. I know Hocevar pitted with 68 laps to go. And yeah, Blaney pitted with 67 to go. Then Cindric pitted the lap later. Blaney undercut Cindric, got back to the lead, but Christopher Bell was still out there running laps. Christopher Bell was on the other strategy. So I loved the last stage, by the way, because it was all a green flag run. I just enjoy green flag racing nowadays, especially with strategy. Like, so refreshing to see in today's NASCAR. One of the races I remember I was hoping came down to fuel mileage this season was Kansas. I'm glad it didn't, but in the moment, I really wanted it to be a fuel mileage race, because I remember at the end of that race, Hamlin and Buescher were having a few mileage battle, and then Truex came up and started hustling them. But yeah, so let's get back on track. Christopher Bell had the lead over, he had the lead of the other strategies, and there was he even had 2 tires at one point in stage 2, and he was still able to fly by people. So that just goes to show you how good of a car Christopher Bell had today. That 20 team really got some good momentum after last week. But let's say that, man, so when Bell pitted, Bell came out, I think it was 5 seconds behind, Blaney, and it only took him about 10 to 15 laps to catch up to Blaney, and when he was about 5 seconds behind, with like maybe 7 or 8 cars in between. That is how good of a car Christopher Bell had. And Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney, they went at it for about 20 to 30 laps, and then Christopher Bell gets on the radio to Adam Stevens, "I'm blowing up." And at this point, I'm just thinking, no way. Like, this was an awesome battle. I'm more of a Toyota guy myself. Crazy, I know. But I was hoping that I really liked the both of them. I was just hoping for a good race between the two of them. I didn't mind who wins either way. I mean, part of me was rooting for Ryan Blaney more, because I did have money on him. And oh man, I don't know fantasy. But I honestly really like Ryan Blaney, and I think especially with him being a champion of the sport and someone who a lot of the younger fans are looking up to nowadays, I was really hoping Ryan Blaney would have a good run to help propel the sport. But yeah, with about 20 laps to go, Bell gets on the radio and he says, crap, I'm still burping, but Bell says, "I'm blowing up." He's losing gears. He's getting passed by everyone. His lap times fell off by 1.25 seconds. And then Martin Truex comes along, who's like 3 laps down, because Truex had a speeding penalty during green flag pit stops in stage 2. And he was essentially giving Christopher Bell so much more lap time. I don't know where Christopher Bell ended up. I'll have a look at it when we check at the results later. But yeah, then you just thought, well, this is a guaranteed lock for Ryan Blaney. The fuel window was like 75 to 80 laps. He's got this in the bag. It's all good. Blaney's gonna win. Coming to the white flag, he runs out of gas. Yeah. Oh my heavens, dude. Like, this poor guy can never catch a break. It's ridiculous. In 2024, Ryan Blaney has never caught a break. And Austin Cindric, who was closing the gap in the last couple of laps, to be fair, obviously passes Ryan Blaney, who's running out of fuel. And Austin Cindric wins at Gateway. Second career win, first since the Daytona 500 in 2022. Man, I could not believe it. I will post my live reaction to the last lap of the race on YouTube Shorts probably on Tuesday, because I have my IndyCar reaction coming out as well, but my jaw just dropped. I was like, dude, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Like, it was really funny because I pressed the record button on my phone just to like record the reaction, and then Suarez passes Blaney. I'm like, well, that's weird. And then Cindric passes Blaney. I'm like, what? And he's just like, I go, oh my god, he's out of gas. And it's just like, bruh, the two best cars all day finish outside the top 10. And not even because they wrecked each other. When they were side by side and they were racing one another, they were having some great racing. And it's like, how does that even happen? How does that even happen? Like, oh my god. Austin Cindric, I did not see that coming. I'm not a huge Austin Cindric guy, but like, man, fair play to him. Fair play to Austin Cindric. But, wow. I mean, good for him. He's outside of the playoffs. He was in the hunt for the playoffs. A hell of a lot better than what he's doing last year. But with this win, Austin Cindric will be in the 2024 playoffs. God only knows how the playoff picture's looking. It's going to come down to like Joey Logano and Kyle Busch for the last playoff spot if no one wins. Because I think, well, it's honestly going to come down to Kyle and Briscoe, because Logano had a really good race today. He finished in the top 5. Today was such a better race for Team Penske. It's been a brutal couple of months for that organization. And having a driver win, a driver finish in the top 5, and having a driver that should have won, who ran out of gas on the last lap, good for Team Penske. But yeah, I guess Gateway kind of relates well to Phoenix as well, so we can come back at the end of the season and talk about this later. But yeah, let's get into the results. So, Austin Cindric wins, followed by Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Tyler Reddick, Joey Logano, Austin Dillon. Yeah, Austin, there was one point in this at the beginning of stage 2 where RCR were running 1-2, so good for Austin Dillon. Everyone else in the top 5 you expected to be there. And Keselowski really stretched that fuel run in the end, so I'm happy to see him end up in the top 5 at that. After Dillon, it's Christopher Bell. Bell ends up in 7th after the day that he had won both stages. Oh my god, excuse me, but good god, I gotta stop doing that. Carson Hocevar ends up in 8th. Justin Haley in 9th. Kyle Larson pulls off a top 10, man. Good for Kyle Larson after getting wrecked and all that crap today. I mean, good for him. My god, I feel another burp coming on. There we go, that one wasn't as bad. But rounding out the results outside the top 10 is Ty Gibbs, man. Ty Gibbs almost hit one of his pit crew members at one point. Ty Gibbs almost ran over one of his pit crew members in the moment. We couldn't even see it happen because Fox was, like Mike Joy was literally narrating. He's like, Ty Gibbs has almost ran over one of his pit crew members. He tried to get the air gun over, and he almost went over the hood of Ty Gibbs's car. And yeah, we were just watching friggin'. We probably weren't even watching cars. We were probably watching the lap cars or the crowd, because I couldn't believe, like, Bell and this is Fox's production, right? Blaney and Bell are side by side racing to the lead. What do they show? They show a 2-picture camera of a guy in a Ryan Blaney shirt with a guy in a Christopher Bell shirt on one side, and on the other side, you have some kid in a Christopher Bell shirt. Fox, seriously, are you, oh my God. I mean, good for the kids, they're at the racetrack, they're gonna be on TV, but they're probably not even gonna see it back anyway. Just show the race. Show the crowd under like caution or something. I don't want to see Smokin' Joe drinking a beer with 20 laps to go and pouring it on his stomach. I don't want to see that with 20 laps to go, especially when you have a battle for the lead. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And not to mention, literally all the passes for the lead happened under commercial in the first half of the race. It's like, oh my God. I mean, here in Canada, we're kind of lucky because when I watch IndyCar, it's on TSN Plus, and it's just the NBC broadcast without the commercial, so I can still see what's happening while everyone else is under commercial. So I was like, well, that's kind of cool. Why can't we do that with Fox? Fox in America can do something. TSN in Canada can do something. Please. I'm getting so sick of these commercials. But at least, there was side-by-side commercials. Like, when there's full-screen commercials, I'm checking my phone, I'm going for a dump, I'm grabbing the next plate of food. I'm not watching full-screen commercials. People... Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here, but it drives me ridiculous. And not to mention, at the end of the race, Jamie Little's interviewing Joey Logano, and all you hear is, like, this is Emmy Award winning audio. How, dude? How? Okay, we're gonna continue with the results. Ross Chastain somehow ended up in 12th. Don't know how, because he had a 20th place car all day, but Chastain pulls off a 12th. Chase Elliott in 13th, that's not bad. Good result for Chase, because, I mean, Hendrick are never good here, so the fact that he even got Larson in the top 10 is impressive in itself, especially after a wreck. But Chris Buescher in 14th. Had him on fantasy as well, not bad. William Byron, Todd Gilliland, Chase Briscoe, Daniel Hemrick, Zane Smith, Ricky Stenhouse, Bubba Wallace, Noah Gragson, Daniel Suarez. Man, Ryan Blaney ends up in 24th. Oh my God, the burps tonight. But, ouch. Michael McDowell, followed by Eric Jones, Alex Bowman, Ryan Preece, Derek Kraus, Harrison Burton, Corey LaJoie, Cody Ware finishes 33rd after 2 wrecks. Truex was 2 laps down. And your only 2 DNFs are Kyle Busch and Josh Berry. Yeah, crazy day at Gateway, man. What more can I say? Well, to give Gateway a rating, I mean, I think it's around, it's a 7 out of 10 race. So I'll give it a 70%, but I also think it was better than the Coca-Cola 600, but the Coca-Cola 600, this Coke 600 was a good race. The Coke 6 was a good race. It just had so many things letting us down. It was like, dude, like, how? We can't get enough. Can Larson just run the double and we can have the greatest day in racing without rain? Please. I don't know why I'm so animated tonight, but like, dude, it's actually crazy how much, like, things can go wrong in NASCAR, but I think 70% is a fair rating for Gateway. I mean, it could it was really hard to pass. But like I've said before, some tracks are not meant to be hard to pass at. But I like Gateway. I think it's a good track. I think it's a track that definitely deserves a date on the NASCAR schedule. But off to Sonoma next week. Road course racing. It's going to be my first race review that I'm reviewing a road course. So that could be interesting. But yeah, guys, I mean, if you enjoyed today's video here at Gateway, make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment down below. Yeah, subscribe if you like Austin Cindric, because you're in a good mood. I don't know how many Austin Cindric fans there are out there, but I'd love to have the 2 Austin Cindric fans subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. But fuel mileage prevails. Yeah, Jonathan Hassler and that number 12 team, they just didn't fill up Blaney's car enough. What more can I say? Great race at Gateway. I enjoyed it, but off to Sonoma next week. Should be a fun one in Sonoma. I mean, Sonoma's not the most exciting race every year, but it's definitely a good one. Nothing to hate on Sonoma about, but yeah, guys, I'll see you in wine country next week. Take care, and peace.